Good evening. I'd like to state for the record first that Ms. Pickett couldn't be bothered to recite the Pledge of Allegiance with the rest of us this evening. I have voted almost exclusively for Democrats in every election since I was 18. I was a registered Democrat at 18, and I believed past tense in many progressive causes over those 30 years. I very recently changed my affiliation after walking away from the Democratic Party permanently when they amplified and allowed Marxist ideology to take over their politics and their boards of ed. After this assignment came to light, I registered with the opposing party, partly with the hope that there were some people who still had their moral compass about them, able to overcome their cognitive dissonance and be willing to stand up and demand answers. I give this background freely to prove this point. I have noticed that here in this room, there are people who want to pigeonhole and marginalize anyone who requests an investigation into this assignment as those Republicans, with all the smears and deflections and the isms and the ifs that go along with this mindset. This issue at hand is neither Republican nor Democrat, and concerned citizens span the spectrum of belief systems. That's the truth of the matter. But what I found most disturbing was a simple insinuation made here recently. This insinuation was made by a resident at a recent meeting while looking into that camera. She made a plea to local students that went something like this. These people that are speaking out are dangerous and they are to be avoided. Stick with us, we'll keep you safe. This rhetoric is disgusting. It serves no purpose but to divide, and that is very damaging to the entire fabric of our community. It also serves as a nice little proxy to keep the conversation away from the topic at hand, but let's get to that question. How did an assignment asking what kind of sex a child desires make it into the classroom? I'll remind the board and the public this particular question of this assignment was not about health or safety, which is generally regarded as age-appropriate instruction. I'll remind the board and the public the children that were asked this question are 12 and 13 years old. And I'll remind the board and the public the age of consent in Connecticut is 16. The fact that it took place in a trusted setting is not an excuse. In fact, it makes it worse. If the question of tell me what you like to do when you have sex was raised to any child by an adult stranger, most people would be livid. If the same question was raised by adults in an office setting to adults, it would be grounds for a sexual harassment complaint at the very least. I was raised in the 70s and the 80s to run like hell from old people with creepy personal questions. What is going on? The superintendent answers to the board. The board, you answer to us. You are elected officials. I have one question. Why isn't the chain of command being utilized?
Ms. Anderson, your time is up.
Thank you. I'd just like to say one thing. There's a protest being planned at JFK. I denounce that protest. It's garbage. Everyone that I've spoken to denounces it. Nothing to do with it. Want nothing to do with it. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.